Oh, the qualifiers. Like the biggest one has to be, I guess.
You do you, I guess.
That is just brutal. It takes all the wind out of your sails.
It signals pure doubt.
Okay, picture this. You're at a coffee shop with a really close friend, and the stakes are high because you've been, agonizing over this massive life decision for weeks.
Okay.
Maybe you're finally going to quit that stable corporate job to become, I don't know, a professional mime.
The classic burn the ships moment. We've all been there.
Exactly. So you finally work up the nerve to tell them. You lay it all out, the plan, the dream, the terrifying financial side of it. You wait for their reaction.
The big reveal.
And they just look at you, take this long, slow sip of their latte, nod, and go, well, you do you.
Oof. I can actually feel the temperature drop just hearing that. It's painful.
It is. It's visceral. Right. And you're just like sitting there, completely frozen.
Yeah.
Because you have absolutely no idea what just happened. Was that a high five? Was that like permission?
Or was it the most polite, passive-aggressive way of saying you are making a catastrophic mistake?
Exactly. It's the ultimate trap.
It is. And honestly, if you look at how we communicate now, you do you might just be the most ambiguous high-stakes phrase in modern American English.
That is exactly what we are unpacking in this deep dive. We're decoding the sociology, the linguistics, the psychology behind it. And the mission today is to figure out, is you do you a celebration of autonomy, or is it just a total dismissal?
And the fascinating thing is it's often both at the same time. But the scary part, for anyone who's actually relying on a friend's advice, is that it has what linguists call a hidden script.
The hidden script, that concept was the first thing that really jumped out at me.
Right.
It suggests that language has the surface meaning and then a completely different pragmatic meaning underneath.
Exactly. You have to distinguish between semantics, what the words literally mean, and pragmatics, what the words mean in context.
Okay.
So the surface meaning of you do you is I support your unique choice. But the hidden script so often translates to I completely disagree with what you're doing, but I'm choosing not to argue with you.
Which is terrifying because I realized, prepping for this, that I say it all the time. I feel like I might owe like 5 people an apology right now.
Well, don't panic yet. It doesn't always mean that.
Right.
But to understand why it's so tricky, you have to look at the phrase's DNA.
Okay.
This isn't just slang. It's the love child of 2 very specific American values that are usually at war with each other.
Okay. Let me guess. One of them has to be individualism, right?
Spot on. American individualism, the core cultural belief that it's your life, your choice, and nobody has the authority to tell you what to do. That's value number 1.
And value number 2
is conflict avoidance, or what sociologists might call social harmony maintenance.
The idea that it's not my place to judge and I just want to keep the peace. We want to be honest, but we also really want to be nice.
Precisely. And you do you is a linguistic miracle because it's the only way to satisfy both of those things at once.
How so?
It allows you to honor someone's right to ruin their life without actually taking responsibility for telling them they're ruining their life.
It maintains what psychologists call plausible deniability.
Exactly. You never said it was a bad idea.
No.
You just said they should do them. If they crash and burn, you're not on the hook for giving bad advice, but you're also not on the hook for being unsupportive. You technically cheered them on.
It's a liability waiver for friendship.
It is.
But surely there has to be a way to tell the difference. Because sometimes I really do mean it in a supportive way.
There is, absolutely. There are 2 very distinct versions, the supportive version and the dismissive version. And the difference is almost entirely in the delivery and the level of engagement.
So it's less about the words.
And more about the prosody, the rhythm, the stress, the intonation of your speech.
Okay, let's test this. I want to see if we can spot it. I'll be the person with the big idea.
Come.
You give me the dismissive version first.
Got it. Set the scene for me.
Okay. So I'm your friend, and I've decided to drop out of college 1 semester before I graduate to start a podcast about, let's say, collecting vintage doorknobs.
Okay. Wow. That's certainly a choice.
Uh-huh.
Well, you do you.
Yeah, I felt that in my stomach. It just stopped the conversation dead.
What did you notice specifically?
It was so flat, like the air went out of a tire, there was a pause before you said it, and your pitch just went down at the end.
Exactly. The pause is lethal. In conversation analysis, we talk about turn taking.
Yeah.
Usually the gap between speakers is milliseconds.
Right.
When that gap stretches to a second or 2, It signals cognitive loading.
Meaning you're thinking about what to say because the truth is too harsh.
Correct. I'm searching for a polite way to say you're an idiot. That search takes time. Hence the pause.
And what didn't you do?
I didn't ask you anything.
You didn't ask me anything about the doorknobs.
Right. No follow-up questions. That signals withdrawal. I've decided your idea is bad, but I've also decided it's not worth the energy to try and stop you. I'm washing my hands of it.
Okay, let's flip it. Give me the supportive version. New scenario. I'm telling you I want to take a solo trip to Japan.
Oh, wow. You do you. That sounds incredible. You could go to Tokyo first?
Okay, night and day difference.
Right. The words are identical, but the energy is completely different.
Yeah.
The supportive version is immediate. No cognitive loading pause. There's warmth, there's a higher pitch, and most importantly, there's engagement. I'm asking questions. I'm validating your excitement.
So the key variable isn't the phrase itself, it's the curiosity attached to it.
Exactly. The supportive friend wants to hear more. The dismissive friend just wants the conversation to end.
This brings us to what we can call the tone decoder. I love this because it gives us actual mechanics to listen for, like we're analyzing a wiretap.
We do have mechanics. If you want to know what someone really thinks, you have to look at the speed-pitch combination.
So break that down. What's the formula for genuine support?
Enthusiastic plus quick equals genuine.
Mm-hmm.
If I say you do you, immediately, maybe even overlapping with your sentence, I'm with you. But pause plus flat equals dismissive. If there's a 2-second silence where I'm just staring at your forehead before I speak, you're in trouble.
The silence is them processing the impending disaster.
Or biting their tongue. But there are also verbal red flags, what linguists call discourse markers. They get attached to the phrase, and they act like warning sirens.
Oh, the qualifiers. Like the biggest one has to be, I guess.
You do you, I guess.
That is just brutal. It takes all the wind out of your sails.
It signals pure doubt. It basically means, I can't stop you, but I definitely would not do that. It distances the speaker from the action entirely. It's like a verbal shrug.
And there's another scenario that I think is really common, the post-objection usage.
Yeah.
This is when you've already been arguing with someone about their bad idea for 20 minutes.
Right. You've laid out all the logical reasons why they shouldn't buy the emu farm.
They just won't listen. Finally, you just throw your hands up and say, fine, you do you.
That's the surrender flag.
It really is.
But crucially, and this is where people get confused, the listeners shouldn't hear that and think, oh, good, they finally agree with me.
What should they think?
They should think, oh, no, they have just given up on saving me.
That's such a critical distinction. It's not agreement, it's resignation.
Right. And psychologically, this is fascinating because it resolves that tension we talked about.
Yeah.
It lets the speaker maintain harmony. If I tell you your idea is stupid, we fight. If I say you do you, we stay friends. And when the emu farm fails, I can privately think, well, I saw that coming.
It's dark, but it's also highly practical for social survival.
It is.
However, while social survival is one thing, professional survival is another. We have to talk about the danger zones. Because it's one thing if your friend says this about a haircut. It is a completely different ballgame if you hear this at work.
Absolute red flag.
Yeah.
In a professional setting, you do you is almost never positive. It practically glows with radioactive danger.
Really? Never. What about in like a creative brainstorming session?
Rarely. I mean, think about the nature of a workplace. We're supposed to be collaborating towards a shared goal, right? Corporate culture is built on alignment.
Okay.
If I say you do you, I am verbally stepping out of that alignment. I'm distancing myself from your actions.
That makes sense. It's the opposite of let's do this.
Exactly.
Can we role play a work scenario to see how it lands?
Sure. Yeah. Be a colleague who wants to send a really risky, aggressive email to the CEO.
Okay. I'm frustrated. I say, hey, I'm going to send this email to the boss telling him his strategy is outdated and he needs to wake up.
You want to send that? Okay. Well, you do you.
I feel a chill down my spine. That felt colder than the friend scenario.
It is colder because the stakes are financial and professional. What that translates to is, this is a terrible idea, and I want it on the record that I have nothing to do with this fallout. Do not blame me when you get fired.
It's another informal liability waiver.
100%. It's disassociation. And if a manager says it to an employee, it's even worse.
What does that mean?
It often means, I'm done coaching you on this. I've tried to guide you. You aren't listening, so go ahead and fail.
So if you're at work and you hear, you do you.
Do not press send.
Do not pass go.
Reevaluate everything.
What about in relationships? We looked into the toxic ex scenario. This feels less about liability and more about just exhaustion.
Yeah, this is the classic situation where a friend is getting back together with a partner who's just terrible for them.
Mm.
You know the type, they break up every other week.
Oh, yeah.
You've told them 100 times not to do it. They do it anyway. And you finally just say, I've said what I think. You do you.
It sounds like boundaries.
It is. It's the sound of a friend stepping back emotionally to protect themselves from frustration. Psychologists call it compassionate detachment.
They can't care more about your life than you do.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you do you becomes a shield.
It protects the friendship from the argument, but it also creates a little distance. It says, I love you, but I can't watch this part of the movie again.
That's it. Exactly.
It's interesting because we have these other phrases that seem like they mean the same thing, but they all carry different weights. The cousin phrases.
Right. The family of passive-aggressive permission.
Like, whatever makes you happy. I use that one, and I honestly think I mean it nicely.
And it can be supportive. Like, you're moving to the countryside. Whatever makes you happy, that's great.
Good.
But imagine it flat, or with a slight emphasis on the whatever. You're dating him. Whatever makes you happy.
Ouch. That is dripping with judgment.
It's actually more condescending than you do you. It implies your standards for happiness are clearly lower than mine, but sure.
Wow. Okay, what about it's your life?
That one is almost always dismissive. It's factual, but it's cold. It translates to, I cannot legally stop you, but this is a mistake. It just highlights the separation between you and me.
And if that's what you want.
The if does all the heavy lifting there.
Yeah.
It just screams doubt. If that is what you want, because I certainly wouldn't, it questions your judgment while pretending to respect your choice.
It's amazing how much nuance we pack into these tiny phrases.
It is.
But here's where it gets really messy, generations, because I feel like I hear Gen Z use you do you so differently than my boomer parents or even Gen X colleagues.
You are absolutely right. There is a huge generational gap here. Language evolves, and this phrase is currently in the middle of a migration.
So break it down for us. How does the intent shift?
For millennials, especially Gen Z, you do you is often quite literal and genuine. It's part of the whole live your truth culture, what some sociologists call the therapeutic turn in language.
It just signals non-judgment.
Right. It means I respect your vibe, even if it's not my vibe.
Right, like you're wearing Crocs to prom, you do you. It's a celebration of weirdness or individuality.
Exactly. It's inclusive. But for older generations boomers, Gen X, they're often more accustomed to a culture of direct advice or, shared social norms.
Okay.
For them, you do you is often a last resort. It's what you say when you've run out of options or when someone is breaking a norm.
So you have this potential collision at work or at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes. A Gen Z employee might say to their boomer boss, oh, you're taking Friday off. You do you, intending to be supportive and respectful of their time.
And the boomer boss hears.
They hear, I don't care about your work ethic, or I'm dismissing your authority.
Wow.
Precisely. They hear the dismissive version because that's how they would use it. You have to know your audience. Context is everything.
Okay, so we've analyzed the trap, we know the risks, but now we have to deal with reality. If I drop a big idea on someone and I hear that pause, and then the you do you, how should I respond?
This is the most important part. You have to learn to decode the silence.
Okay.
If you suspect dismissal, the worst thing you can do, and what most of us do, is ignore it. We pretend they agreed with us because we want their validation.
You take the yes and run, even if it was a fake yes.
Exactly.
Right.
But that just sets you up for failure.
Yeah.
So there are a few strategies. The first is the gentle call out.
Which is?
You say something like, hey, that sounded a little hesitant. Do you actually think this is a bad idea?
That feels brave and a little confrontational.
It is, but it cuts through the tension immediately. It forces that hidden script out into the open.
It forces them to put their cards on the table.
Exactly. The second strategy is giving permission. This one is often more effective if you're afraid of conflict.
So what do you say?
You say, I want your real opinion. You can tell me if you think I'm making a mistake. I promise I won't be mad.
And why does that work better?
Because remember, the reason they said you do you is conflict avoidance. They're afraid of being the bad guy or the unsupportive friend.
Right.
By giving them permission, you're telling them you're safe, you can be honest without violating the social contract.
That is so smart. You're basically handing them a pass to be real with you.
And honestly, that's where real friendship lives. I'd rather have a friend say, I think this is a disaster, than a friend who says, you do you, and just watches me crash and burn.
But playing devil's advocate here, what if I call them out and they really were just supporting me? What if I made it awkward for nothing?
Then they'll just reassure you. They'll say, no, no, I really mean it. I think it's great. And then you both feel better because the support is confirmed. There's almost no downside to clarifying, other than maybe 5 seconds of awkwardness.
So we've unpacked the tone, the psychology, the danger zones. When we zoom out, what does this phrase really tell us about how we communicate today?
I think "you do you" is this double-edged sword that perfectly reflects our current cultural moment. At its best, it's the ultimate high five. It's a celebration that we're all on different paths and we don't need to conform.
It's the live and let live philosophy in 3 words.
It is.
Oh,
But at its worst, it's a polite withdrawal of investment. It's a way of saying, I'm not going to carry the emotional burden of your choices anymore.
it sort of atomizes us. It turns us into individuals who are near each other, but not actually helping each other.
Exactly.
It seems like it really reflects a specifically American way of caring. We care about autonomy sometimes more than we care about, intervention.
It does. In many other cultures, Dutch, German, Russian, for example, if a friend is doing something stupid, you tell them. You intervene.
That is how you show you care.
Yes, directness is love. But here, sometimes caring means respecting someone's autonomy enough to let them make their own mistakes.
Caring by letting go.
Exactly. You do you is the verbal equivalent of taking the training wheels off and stepping back.
Yeah.
You hope they ride, but you're prepared for them to fall.
That is surprisingly profound for a piece of slang that I usually say while scrolling through Instagram.
Language is wild. It just holds up a mirror to who we are.
Well, I think my biggest takeaway is that I need to be much more careful about using this phrase at work. I don't want to accidentally sign any liability waivers I didn't mean to.
Solid plan. Save it for the quirky hobbies. Keep it out of the boardroom.
And for you listening, here's a final thought to mull over. The next time you share a big dream or a bold idea with someone and they hit you with a you do you, don't just listen to the words. Listen to the empty space right before them.
That silence is where the truth is.
Did they pause? Did they sigh? Because if they did, they probably have an opinion that could save you a lot of trouble if you're brave enough to ask for it.
And if you're the one saying it, maybe ask yourself, are you supporting them or are you just checking out?
Something to think about. Thanks for diving in with us.
Always a pleasure.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive. Stay curious.